Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of our podcast series on practicing speaking skills. I'm Linda, and I'm here with my co-host, Leo.
Hi, everyone. We're excited to have you here with us today. We'll be talking all about speaking skills and how they can help you become a more confident English speaker.
That's right, Leo. In this series, we're going to break down the important steps for improving your speaking skills. Today, we'll start by talking about why it's important to practice speaking skills in English. So, let's dive in.
So, Linda, when we say practicing speaking skills, what do we really mean?
Great question. Leo, practicing speaking skills means spending time every day or week talking in English. It can be with friends, in class, online, or even just with yourself. It's all about getting comfortable with saying words out loud in English.
Exactly. And here's something important. Practicing doesn't mean you need to be perfect. Making mistakes is normal, and actually, it's a really good thing.
Yes, Leo, mistakes help us learn. When we make a mistake, we remember it better. So, if you're afraid of saying something wrong, try not to worry too much about it. Mistakes are part of the process.
I remember when I first started learning a new language. I felt shy, and I was worried about saying things the wrong way. But over time, I learned that the more I spoke, the easier it became.
That's a great point, and it's the same with English. If you don't practice, you'll never feel comfortable. So, our first tip today is try to speak a little English every day, even if it's just a few words. It helps.
Yes, it's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
Now, let's talk about some benefits of practicing speaking skills. Why should our listeners spend time speaking in English?
Good idea. So, one big benefit is confidence. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. It's like riding a bike. At first, you're scared, but after some practice, it becomes natural.
Right, and confidence is key. If you feel confident, you can express yourself more freely. You won't feel so nervous, and you'll enjoy talking in English.
Another benefit is better listening skills. When you practice speaking, you're also practicing listening. You hear how words sound, how sentences flow, and how people respond to you. This helps you understand English better.
Yes, and practicing speaking also helps with learning new words. When you talk, you start using new words you've learned, and you remember them better. It's like when you use a new recipe, the more you make it, the better you remember it.
And here's something else that's really important: grammar. Speaking helps you put grammar rules into practice. You get to use the right tenses, make sentences, and fix any little errors as you go along.
Definitely, Leo. And here's the cool part, speaking also helps you sound more natural. You learn the rhythm of the language, how to stress certain words, and how to speak at a natural pace. This makes you sound more like a native speaker.
All right, so now that we know why it's important, let's give our listeners some examples of how they can start practicing speaking skills.
Great idea. Let's start with a simple one, talking to yourself. I know it might sound strange, but talking to yourself in English can be very helpful. You can describe what you're doing, like I am cooking, or I am getting ready for work. It helps you practice without any pressure.
Yes, and another way is to practice with friends or classmates. You can choose a topic like your favorite food or a recent trip and talk about it. This way, you have a partner to listen and respond to you.
Or you can even use apps or online platforms to talk with people from around the world who are also learning English. It's a fun way to meet new friends and practice at the same time.
Or you can even use apps or online platforms to talk with people from around the world who are also learning English. It's a fun way to meet new friends and practice at the same time.
You can also practice by recording yourself. Record a short message about your day or about something you like, then listen to it. This helps you hear how you sound and find ways to improve.
Now, let's talk about a common problem many learners have: fear of speaking. Linda, Do you remember feeling nervous when you started learning a new language?
Oh, absolutely. I was so afraid of making mistakes. But I realized that if I didn't try, I'd never get better. And I learned that most people are very kind and patient, so there's no need to be scared.
That's true. And here's a tip for our listeners. Try to focus on what you're saying, not how perfect it is. The goal is to communicate. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Exactly. Think of speaking English like you're playing a game. Have fun with it. Make it light. It's okay to laugh at your mistakes. The more relaxed you are, the better you'll speak.
And remember, everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers don't always say everything perfectly.
So, to sum up today's episode, we talked about why practicing speaking skills is so important. It builds confidence, improves listening, helps you learn new words, and even improves your grammar.
And don't forget, practice a little bit every day. You don't have to speak perfectly, you just have to try. Every bit of practice brings you closer to speaking English fluently.
That's right, Leo. And for our listeners, don't worry about mistakes. They're a part of learning, and they help you grow.
In the last episode, we talked about why practicing speaking is important, and today, we're going to get into the fun part, actual exercises you can do to improve your speaking skills.
Yes, so if you're ready, grab a pen and paper if you want to take notes, and let's jump into it.
Let's start with something simple, talking about your day. Linda, how does this help learners improve?
Talking about your day is a great way to practice because it's something you already know. You don't need new vocabulary or complex ideas. Just describe what you did from morning until evening. For example, you could say, I woke up at 7 o'clock. Then I had breakfast and I went to work.
Exactly. You can say it to yourself, record it, or even share it with a friend. Try to add more details as you feel more comfortable, like I had toast and eggs for breakfast, or I took the bus to work.
And if you're stuck, don't worry, keep it simple, and try adding new words over time. The important part is speaking out loud and getting used to using English every day.
Now here's another fun one, talking to yourself in the mirror. This is a great way to practice, especially if you feel shy talking in front of others.
That's right. When you talk to yourself in the mirror, it's just you and your reflection. You can make eye contact with yourself, practice speaking clearly, and even work on your expressions. Pretend you're introducing yourself or explaining something interesting.
Yes, you can practice lines like, hello, my name is Leo and I love to cook, or today I want to talk about my favorite book. Imagine you're talking to someone you know, and it will start to feel more natural.
This exercise helps build confidence. It's also a chance to hear how your voice sounds and practice saying words with more energy and expression.
Okay, next up is a fun one, describing a picture. Grab any photo you have. It could be of a place, a person, or even your favorite meal. Then try to describe it in as much detail as possible.
Yes. For example, if you have a picture of the beach, you can say, the sky is blue, the water is clear, and there are many people swimming. As you described, try to add more details, like there's a tall palm tree on the right, or the sand looks very soft and white.
This activity helps with both vocabulary and speaking fluency. You learn new words to describe things, and you get to practice forming sentences. And if you do this every day with different pictures, you'll build confidence over time.
And don't worry if you don't know a word. Just describe it in a different way, like saying, there is a tall green tree if you don't remember palm tree. This is a great way to think creatively in English.
Now, let's talk about role-playing. This is an awesome exercise to make speaking English feel real and fun. You can act out a conversation with a friend or even by yourself, pretending to be different people.
For example, imagine you're at a restaurant. One person can be the customer, and the other can be the waiter. The customer can say, hello, I'd like to order a sandwich, please. and the waiter can reply, "Sure, what kind of sandwich would you like?"
Role-playing helps with everyday conversations, so you're practicing the language you'd actually use in real life. You can try scenarios like ordering food, checking into a hotel, or asking for directions.
And if you don't have a partner, you can act out both roles yourself. Imagine saying both parts. It's a fun way to practice alone.
All right, here's one that's great for people who want to connect with others. Finding an online language partner. With so many platforms now, it's easier than ever to find someone to practice with, even if they're on the other side of the world.
Absolutely. You can look for language exchange programs or apps that connect learners. The idea is to practice speaking English with someone who might be learning your language, or another person who also wants to improve their English.
This way, you get to practice in a relaxed setting and you get to learn from each other. And it's also fun. You might make new friends along the way.
Remember to start with simple conversations. Don't worry about being perfect. The purpose is to practice and have fun. It can be as easy as asking questions like, "What's your favorite food?" or "Do you like to travel?"
We know that starting is sometimes the hardest part. So, here are a few quick tips to stay consistent with your practice.
Yes, first tip, make it a daily habit. Even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, practicing every day really helps. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Make it part of your routine.
And second, set small goals. Instead of aiming to speak for an hour, try speaking for 5 minutes. When you achieve that, try for 10. Small goals feel easier and give you a feeling of success.
Also, don't be too hard on yourself. Remember that learning a language takes time and everyone goes at their own pace. Celebrate your progress, even if it's just a little each day.
And lastly, try to enjoy the process. Speaking English can open doors and help you meet people, learn about new cultures, and even help you with travel. So have fun with it and enjoy each step forward.
So, to wrap up today's episode, we talked about different ways to practice speaking English, like talking about your day, using a mirror, describing pictures, role-playing, and connecting with language partners online.
That's right. These exercises are designed to help you feel more comfortable and confident, one step at a time. Remember, practice makes progress.
And don't forget, you can do these activities alone or with friends. Just keep practicing, and soon you'll see a big improvement in your speaking skills.
In our next episode, we'll discuss more advanced tips and how to sound more natural when speaking English. So stay tuned.
Thoughtful, yes. We've talked a lot about how important speaking practice is, and we've shared some fun conversations and tips. Now, we're going to wrap up with a few final ideas and some easy ways for you to keep practicing on your own.
Encouraging, exactly. Remember, speaking is a skill that grows the more you use it. Even a little practice every day can make a big difference.
Positive, that's right. Think of speaking practice like exercise. If you do a little bit every day, you get stronger. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to keep trying.
Thoughtful, and don't forget, you're not alone. Every English learner around the world goes through this same journey. Some days it feels easy and other days, well, it feels tough. But you're learning and improving, even if it doesn't feel like it right away.
Encouraging, yes. And here's one final thought for you. Don't be afraid to speak English out loud. Whether you're by yourself or with a friend, practice using English words and sentences. Even talking to yourself can be good practice. For example, you could describe what you're doing, like "I'm cooking dinner" or "I'm going to the store."
Excited? Exactly. Here's a little challenge you can try today. Pick one topic, maybe something simple like "my day" or "my favorite hobby." Then talk out loud about it for 1 or 2 minutes. Pretend you're explaining it to a friend or even to us here on the podcast.
Supportive, and don't worry about mistakes. If you're not sure of a word, just keep going. The more you practice, the easier it will get, and soon you'll find that words start coming more naturally.
Final tip, another idea is to record yourself speaking. You could use your phone to record a short story or even a daily update like today, I went for a walk in the park. Then listen to yourself. It might feel strange at first, but it helps you hear your own voice and get comfortable with how you sound in English.
Encouraging, yes. That's a great idea. It can feel a bit funny, but remember, everyone who learns a language feels the same way. The key is to stay positive and enjoy the journey.
Motivating. So, as we wrap up, here's a big message from both of us to you. Keep going, keep speaking, and remember that every bit of practice brings you closer to your goals.
Inspiring, absolutely, and don't forget, you're already doing something amazing by learning English. So give yourself credit for every step you take.
Final message. Thank you all so much for joining us in this podcast on practicing speaking skills. We hope you've enjoyed it and that you feel more confident to keep speaking and practicing every day.
Friendly until next time. Remember, keep speaking, keep smiling, and remember, you're doing great. We're so proud of you.
Warmly bye for now and happy practicing.